Okay, so we have some buttons, a layout, and what you learned from the last one. Basically that I've got this extension added called Animated Gradient. You have to get that file in order to add it, and add it as a non-visible component. And then any layout or button, you can add an animated gradient to it. So let's look at the coding for this. So I'm not going to code what the buttons do as much as what they look like. So to do that, we're actually going to go to screen 1, and we're going to use a block that's very, very important. It's things that get done whenever the screen opens. I am coding on screen 1 for this experiment. You would actually have different names for your screens, but even screen 1 can and should have some initialized blocks. So whenever it starts, these things happen. And you can do lots of different things, but we are simply going to use the animated gradient, and we're going to call the animated gradient extension, and we're going to do several things. So the start, mid, and end color, pretty straightforward. We're going to put a number of milliseconds for the duration, and we just need to know what component do you want to change. So we'll start off with the vertical arrangement. So that big background is going to have a color change on it. And you just scroll to the bottom where it just has a very plain vertical arrangement. So we're just identifying which component to add some gradient animation to. And then the orientation, we can click on here and you can see that we've got several different options, left to right, bottom to top. There's no top to bottom, which I found odd. But let's just do a bottom to top for this start one right here. And then you get your colors. So for this big background right here, let's do some colors. And let's just keep it real dramatic, I guess. We can go from black and then maybe red and then back to black again. And for this, I don't want it going too fast. 1,000 milliseconds is 1 second. So I'm going to use math here, and I'm going to say the duration, let's make it about 5 seconds. So 5,000 for our duration. So it's going to be a pretty gradual, just a background thing happening. And then with our buttons, we'll be able to make those a little fancier. So we're going to do the same thing right here. As the screen initializes, it's going to now set up another one, and this time the component, we're going to have to remove this and get a replacement, which is going to be the button normal. So we're going to try and come up with a normal, a fast, faster, and we'll try out the different numbers. So we're just going to go to the bottom for button normal just to identify it, and then we've got an animated gradient, and we can try some of these different directions. So let's do bottom left to the top right. And in here we can make it like orange and yellow and red. We'll do like fire for that one. So if the background is going at 5,000, I'd say 1,000 would be pretty much a normal, like 1 second for, let's do about 2,500, about half of what the background is, and then we'll just get faster and faster from there. Copy paste. And so this time it's going to be the button fast. Let me just click on it and get the button fast. And maybe now that we're in buttons, yeah, we'll be able to just choose the different button. If it's going from a layout to a button, I can't just click and select that. So this one we will do top left to bottom right, and we will choose some different colors. How about some blues in here? And maybe a very light blue. And if this is going to be faster, we're going to go down to 1,500. And then add another one. So if you have lots of buttons, your initialize is going to be pretty big. So keep it off to the side so it's not covering anything up. So this is faster. So we'll go down to 1 second. And then this button is going to be the fastest. So I've got button normal, fast, faster, and fastest. And let's put this at about 250. So it's just going to be, we'll see just how fast, a quarter second. It'll probably just flash on there. Let's change up our colors a little bit. So this can be the greenish one. darker green, a lighter green, maybe a light yellow in there. And for the fastest one, let's do a red and green and red again. So it's going to flash back and forth in between those, or I don't know. Maybe so fast we can't even tell. All right, so I've got my when screen initialized, and of course the designer doesn't look any different. But what I can do here is, as a test, I can put the numbers. So this is the arrangement, just the background vertical arrangement. But for normal, 2500, 1500, 1000. So right here, I'll put text 2500. This one is going to be, I've forgotten already. $15, 1,000, 250. So 15. $1,000 and 250. Again, that's going to be 1/4 of a second. It's going to go through the full gradient. Now, for your magic button, which may be the only one that you want to do this on, but it sure would look nice, we'll see what speed you want to do that for. All right, so I'm going to create this and then screen capture it and try and add it on to the end of this video.